So I've brought my bread machine back through, and I am going to make, I'm going to do the dough, the sourdough dough in the bread machine. So currently I have put in my normal quantity of flour, water and salt, and I fed the starter about 3/4 of an hour ago. I failed to check where it was. I think it was at this line. This is an old line. So the once that's reached here, probably it'll be ready for me to put in the machine. Pussycat's on the floor in front of the fire. Not really sure she knows what to do with herself today. Do you? It's still too dark to get anybody out. This is the bread machine. I'm sure it's got a dough setting on it. Yeah, 14. I'll do that later. Running out of honey. Dinner today will be sausages, sweet potatoes, and I've got a ratatouille that I made several months ago in the freezer, which I will defrost. I sent Mark to bed at about 8:30 last night. He was just really absolutely struggling to stay awake, and I said to him, "Why? You're sick. Why are you staying up? Just go to bed." Because he's not slept well for the last 2 or 3 nights, and it's like, well, just if you're that tired, go to bed, sleep. Doesn't matter how long you sleep for, and if you're up in the night, but sleep when you can sleep. So he went to bed, and he was just silent up there. And, I kept thinking, he's not coughing, he hasn't coughed, he's not moved. And I hung on and hung on. I started to worry about him, as I normally do, which is ridiculous, but I just do. And managed to hang on till about 11:15. I thought, no, I needed to go to bed by then. So I went up, walked into the bedroom, and I could hear him, very quietly breathing, which was a relief. Got myself into bed, and I don't know what time it was, how long I'd been in bed, but he woke and was getting up and flailing his arms around and hit my elbow. And I went, "Can you mind my elbow, please?" And he said, "Oh, sorry, I didn't know you were there." So he hadn't heard me go in, which is good. So by the time I went to bed, he'd had at least 2.5 hours sleep, solid sleep. I know he was up. I don't know how long he was up for, but he's up there now sleeping. I've been up since, I can't remember whether it was 5 or 6 now. It's now 8:45. So he's really sleeping well. So catching up on the sleep he lost. Chris, Rebecca, Brook, you're right. I've got conjunctivitis in this eye. And it reminds me of when we were in Canada, when I carried on for days not knowing I'd got conjunctivitis, and it just got worse and worse and was very painful. This is not painful. And I've emailed my doctor this morning to ask, it's Sunday, so I'm going to get anything, but I've emailed him and asked him for a prescription, which I'll ask Laurence to pick up for me. But I have got, hold a sec, about half a pack. Actually, it's probably more, about half a pack of these. And they're really, really working. It's an eye wash, and it's got salicylic acid in it, which is I think it's a bit of a derivative of aspirin. But it's really helpful. It's really calming this eye. So I'm using that. So that will keep me going until I can get a prescription from the doctor. So that's where we're at. I think I'm going to have to cancel. We had plans to eat out with our neighbour on Friday. I'm going to have to cancel that because even if I'm testing negative, I don't think Mark will be, because he's several days behind me. And sort of thinking about Christmas. And I am thinking that I might not do Christmas at Christmas, or that we're supposed to be eating with Jo. She's supposed to be coming here, and we're having Indian. I think I will suggest that that I go and collect, or that she's going to drop it off on Friday, possibly. But that she keeps hers back, and she has hers, and we have ours. We'll have ours Christmas Day, and then we'll do Christmas the following weekend, because even if I'm negative, Mark might be negative, I'm sure that we'll need a bit of recovery time before we have Jo here with the dogs, and just doing, what you do at Christmas, which is being a hostess. So I don't think I'm going to be up for that by Christmas Day. It's a week today, I think, isn't it? It always creeps up on me when I'm not looking, because I don't look. I don't pay attention. Well, it's a week Monday, so it's 8 days. Yeah, I think I'm going to cancel Christmas in the form that we know it, and have it the following weekend. That works best, I think. So, there, right, it's nearly time for me to go and let those chickens out. They were roosting yesterday evening quite happily on the bars that I'd oiled. I'm hoping it'll be interesting to look at the colour of their combs this morning, because it will show, it should show, because if they've not been, I know this sounds awful, if they've not been bled overnight by red mite, their combs should look more red. And I will definitely go and do something more today down there. I don't sound it, and I know my eye doesn't look good, but actually I feel a lot better. I feel my energy levels feel quite reasonable, so I know I can plan to go down there and sort them out later and do another red mite run. So yeah, that's the score on the doors. I was thinking about my tissues, and my adopt a tissue thing, and I was thinking, at least with the tissues you've got something more tangible, because I can send you a tissue. I'm not gonna, you can adopt it, but you can actually have it in real time, in real life, and adopt it and have it in your home. So I think it's much better than adopting a star, personally. It's just fucking mad, isn't it? It's just mad. And that's all I'm going to say. And I'm going now to let out the chickens. A plus.